Hi, my name is Dianna Wickern, and I am talking to you today about a career profile. This is our second one that I am doing this year or this semester in the Family 150 class. My job title that I'm looking at speaking today on is a school counselor with an animal assisted therapy, which is actually having a therapy dog in the school. Now, just before I get started on the details of this career, I'd like to show you a picture. I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying to get up here. This is a therapy dog. And therapy dogs are important resources that schools now have to help children emotionally, socially, and educationally to develop and to gain excellence in their abilities. Now, the organizations that you will see as a therapy dog working in with a school counselor would be, of course, in a school setting, usually a public school setting, and they will be working with the school counselors. Some resources that I took my information from were www.schooltherapydogs.org and www.cfb, as in boy, portal.schoolwires.net. And both of those sites are done by school counselors who are themselves owners and handlers of therapy dogs, using them in K through 12 schools. For the working environment of this career, the working environment is a pleasant one. It's working with children and working with adults. It's working with teachers as well as the students and parents and many outside in the community. The environment is very pleasant, although it does have both stressors and good points to it as well. The setting is usually inside of the elementary schools and sometimes out in the communities, as you can give educational conferences and helps to parents and educators and professionals outside. The counselors work in schools ranging from elementary to high schools, and although it seems from my reading that these dogs are in all of those situations, they're mainly in elementary schools. The children are very receptive to the presence of these therapy dogs and are often very excited to engage with the dogs. And they are seen helping the kids cross the streets with their crossing duty. They're out on the playgrounds. They're in the classrooms. They are in the counseling office. They're all over. They're walking the halls. The kids are very excited about seeing these dogs. There's often many opportunities for the therapy dogs to help the children, and it makes for a very calming and accepting environment for the kids to be in. The job is really rewarding. It helps with kids progress in their learning skills. It helps them learn to trust and be in a non-judgmental environment. It's a fun opportunity for the kids. It enables them to try to be better in everything that they do. It motivates them and encourages them in their learning and their socialization. And it helps to calm and help heal kids in times of crisis. And oftentimes these counselors and these dogs are brought in when there have been extreme situations, whether it be in the schools or in their homes. The dogs are really well, they have had good results, and they are well accepted in the community and especially with the children in the schools. The typical stressors of this profession are such that a normal counselor would see in the schools. They have challenges with parents who are worried about their children and trying to make the best of situations that whether they be educational or family or say a bullying social situation in the school. The counselors deal with those. They deal with the children who are often in situations where they're stressed. Many of them have challenges with behavior or learning, or sometimes they have stresses in their families. These counselors are there in heart as well as in mind and in their work. The therapy dogs also experience stress in their jobs. They sometimes need downtime as they have lots of activity and noise going on during the day. They work patiently with these children and have lots to do. They can feel the emotions of the children and the situations, and so they often will need a break to relax. Sometimes a counselor has to intervene between children who have behavioral issues or who might emotionally become disturbed, and they need to watch for signs of these children so that they can remove the dog or remove the children to another area so that neither will be harmed. Sometimes children are aggressive, and those kids would not be good candidates to work with the dogs until they can be trusted with the situation. The counselors have other common stressors, which are typical deadlines, paperwork, personality challenges in the office and without, school policies, procedures that might deal with having a dog in the school. Once a school usually has experienced, though, the benefits of having a therapy dog working, they usually are very satisfied with the results. The typical benefits are, aside from the working benefits of benefit packages like health insurance and vacations, the Monday through Friday work, and the retirement options, which they usually all have. They also have some personal benefits as well, which would be the successes that you see in the children developing their skills socially, behaviorally, in their academics, and also helping children who are in particularly crisis situations, helping them to be able to heal from those and to be able to move on in their lives. The common job tasks that a school counselor has with a therapy dog, they often work with children with particular problems such as social, emotional problems, occupational therapy needs, maybe having test anxiety sessions. There are reading intervention programs, attention and focus programs for children who have a hard time keeping their attention on things and focusing on the tasks at hand. There are bullying prevention programs, grief support, working with blended families, counseling and consulting with parents and guardians, with teachers and staff, and also with professionals and others in the community. They can also help with staff development and environments in the schoolroom. And sometimes they can also make referrals to outside agencies as well. The educational requirements for a school counselor with a therapy dog are many, and they are dependent upon the state that you live in and that you plan on practicing in. Information for finding that by state can be found at the American School Counselor Association website, which is www.schoolcounselor.org /school-counselors-members/state-certification-requirements. In Idaho, the state requirements to be a school counselor are that the individual must hold at least a master's degree and provide verification of completion of an approved program of graduate study in school guidance and counseling from a university approved by the Idaho State Board of Education or the state educational agency of the state in which your program was completed. The requirement for your course work, you must meet recent credit requirements of 6 semester credit hours within the last 5 years. 700 clock hours of supervised field experience, half of which must be in a K through 12 school setting. Previous counseling experience may be considered helpful and help offset the field experience clock hour requirement. Verification of passing one of 3 SBOE approved Idaho technology assessments is required. There is need for recommendation for your certification. Certification is for grades K through 12. The Idaho Code, it allows for certificated school social workers to be employed as elementary school counselors without any credential change. You must complete an Idaho criminal history check before initial certification can be granted. And there's also, once certification happens, there are continuing educational requirements to keep that certification. Now the therapy dogs, they have quite a bit of certification themselves. They must also go through special schooling to receive their certification. And a school counselor can either go through the training with their dog or acquire a dog that has already gone through this training. The training is through the American Kennel Club, and there are a number of classes that are part of training. One is the AKC STAR Puppy, the AKC Canine Good Citizen, the APDT Rally Obedience, Advanced Skills Training Program, Pre-Admission Screening, ongoing teamwork classes, and internships and observations. The organization that I found very, very helpful that can help with people getting started and organizations getting started in using assisted therapy dogs, animal-assisted therapy dogs, or animal-assisted therapy. They can go to www.cchdogs.org, which is the Canine Community Hero Dogs.org, and it's based in northern Colorado. And if you're in another state, you may want to see if your state has an organization that is similar to this, because it had a lot of good information in how to get training, how to get the program started within the schools in your area, what is needed, what outside resources can help you. There's much there that can be a good resource. Most of the organizations that most of the testing that will certify your dog through the AKC require that the dog be at least 2 years old. So if you obtain a puppy to do this, you'll have at least those 2 years to do training and socialization with your dog, so your dog is prepared to go into the school and be a good resource for that school. Another recommended site on helping get school therapy, a school therapy program going, would be www.schooltherapydogs.org. And that one is another site that has been set up by a school counselor who works with a therapy dog in many different areas. And she has a dog named Copper, which is a golden retriever and has been very successful in helping many kids and work through their challenges in the school setting. The starting salary range for a school counselor is about $50,000 a year, and the average is $56,000 a year, but this does fluctuate depending upon the state and the city that you are working in. this information was retrieved through the U.S. News and World Report, and the information was taken from 2004 up to this point. Additional information is obtained just through the U.S. News and World Report, the schooltherapydogs.org, and the EFB portal.schoolwires.net. I have really enjoyed reading into this profession, and I have a love for children and for animals, and I think that the two have a very promising outlook for working together in counseling and helping children to find a loving, warm, accepting, and enriching environment for them to flourish in their schools. I think that with the opportunities that are here, it can be very rewarding and exciting, and this is something that I would be very interested in. And I thank you for listening to my account here, and thank you very much.